We are the cheeky girls, we are the cheeky girls, you are the cheeky boys, you are the cheeky boys, we are the cheeky girls, we are the cheeky boys, touch my bum, this is life.
Well, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Fuck. So I'm not, there aren't gay singles in my area.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they don't want to. I did like Matt's post about, talking about the people going like, yeah, fucking people, they're going out and boozing, and they're bastards, but actually they just want to hang out with their chums, and us bodybuilders want to be around massive people, and we probably shouldn't bitch about them drinking when we're doing a gram of tren. I agreed with it, so I'm gonna become an alcoholic.
The only way you can do that is better than training it.
Become.
Yeah, we should all do it. We'll do the next Bash Bros podcast shit-faced.
You're not already drunk?
No, I'm actually always like this.
Welcome back to episode 23 of Bash Bros podcast. Look at Dan's face, what a cunt.
Are we still here?
This week we have Mr. Matt Tofton.
But.
Seasoned competitive UK bodybuilder. If you compete in the UK, you know who Matt is.
Seen the arms.
Yeah. Same routine. So, no, this is not Matt's page. This is the...
Oh, careful, Johnny, careful.
Whoa.
Oh, fuck's sake.
You did well to exit that quickly.
I know,
It wasn't two bros, but...
Yeah. Bit of midget porn doesn't hurt anyone.
And the rest.
Yeah.
So, that's him.
This is Matt's page.
That's him as Guy Fawkes. He doesn't actually do any bodybuilding, he just fighting.
Head over, give him some love.
We haven't looked at any photos of him looking massive.
Well, there aren't that many, to be fair. He's not actually, for somebody who looks that good.
It's just psychotic ranting.
Yeah, he doesn't post a lot of photos of himself, to be fair. You know?
There's one where he was 11.
There's the one
there we go. There's a transformation.
Fair play. But yeah.
Yes. Good.
So, Matt, give us usual spiel as we do with our guests. Give us a rundown. What got you into it? How long you've been competing? All that jazz.
First show was 2012 as a junior for UKBFF. That was the year, so I finished university. So I always took my training seriously at university, but I was out on the piss sort of 3-4 nights a week, and no sort of attention to a diet.
What did you study?
Sports science, and I didn't actually graduate. So I done 5 years at university, didn't actually come out with a degree. So,
but you got pissed a lot, so that was all right.
Yeah, well, my attendance was less than 1%. So,
well, the student grant was good. So,
they tried to kick me off 1 year, but I paid to resit the year, and then it was even lower my attendance. So, and then halfway through my dissertation, trying to write 10,000 words, I just said, "Oh, fuck this." and you're gonna have to edit this out because trying to talk and my fucking tooth's falling out.
It's actually just fallen out.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm assuming that's a temporary tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got a bridge and it came out during lockdown. So I haven't been able to go to the dentist, and I've got an appointment on Thursday. So I put that back in, but I'm just trying to talk in.
Now you look hard as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
So now I'll do the rest of the podcast like a hillbilly. So yeah, sorry.
It's fine, bro.
So yeah, so moved over to the PCA, and then obviously when I got across to them, everything was high class, so could no longer move through the weights, and I think I came. Well, the first show was a bit. Obviously, Ryan Alexander was like drumming, trying to get loads of people at his show, messaging everyone, "Oh, come and do the show. You'll easy win." And obviously, you messaged about 40 other people saying the same thing. And as well, there was $5 grand on the line. So I went along, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you'll win it. You'll be all right." And then Carl Jolly turned up about 2 weeks out from the universe and beat me. So I didn't get that $5 grand. Then I think, what year was that? That was 2015. And I think I've just pretty much stayed between NAVA and PCA. I came third at the NAVA Britons 2017, third at the PCA final British 2017, 2018, third at the PCA Brits. Third. 2019 came second, and then this was the year that I wanted first place, and everything got cancelled. So I've just done the PCA UK Open, won the overall, but it's just a glorified qualifier. So now I've got to wait another year to see the PCA again.
So is that the plan, to compete again next year?
Yeah. So it's a full year off now, and then just go for. I want to win the British before I attempt anything else. Obviously, there's that FitX that's come out. So if some shows fit around the same time, I might do it. But I don't want to. I was thinking about doing like the Strong show, but competing in May, I just don't think it's gonna. I don't like the idea of not progressing year on year, and I think like to dive back down again and just prep twice, it'll just cost me. So everything will just go towards October next year.
Yeah, I did that once and I regretted it eternally.
Yeah, I think even with like the rebounds and stuff, you spend that long, and it's too much stress on the body, like prep and just getting down. It just fucks you up. And having to do it twice, sometimes the body just sort of gives up on you. Like last year was the first time I actually took any real time off gear, and my body just responded like amazingly well afterwards. So I want another sort of 5-6 months off gear, and I just won't be able to do that if I was prepping like twice.
So how do you prep if you're coming off? Are you doing a TRT or?
Yeah, but real TRT, like
not 500 milligrams of Primo.
And
500 test. I've heard about these cruise doses that people are doing now. Because Primo's not a real drug now because there's Hex, Tren, and so nothing else counts.
Yeah. I just ran 125 tests every sort of 10 days for 6 months. But that was at the same time. SAS was giving me so much fucking food that I still put about 35 pounds on just on TRT. Obviously, massive chunk of it was fat, but when we came back down, there was still some tissue there. And then soon as the drugs went back in May time, my body just transformed and I didn't drop any weight really. Like my whole prep, I dropped 17 pounds. So I think the recomp effect of obviously coming off. Obviously, you might lose a bit of tissue, and then it's just gaining it back. But I definitely do think there's something to be said for taking some time off now. Because I never used to believe it. I used to think it was bullshit. I just used to justify. Like I'd do a cruise, and then 5-6 weeks later, get my blood still, they'd be all right, and I'd just jump straight back on.
Was that your decision? Was that your decision, or was it SAS's?
What's that?
The to come off.
No, it was mine. Like we came up because I only started with SAS about 5 weeks before the British, because I did the Amateur Olympia in Vegas, prep myself, and then I'd already messaged him and said, "Oh, when I'm home, I want to move over to you." So then we did 5 weeks after that. I think did the London qualifier, and then a week later with the British, and then we did an 8-week rebound, and then just took some time off. But then that time off probably got extended because of lockdown. I think at a point where we might have reintroduced things after sort of 3 months, it got extended to 5 months, just because I thought, well, we're not doing anything. Because I didn't make any plans, and about 6 weeks into lockdown, I was so bored that I just needed something to focus on. So I just messaged him and said, let's just prep for a show and hope one comes up. So we started up again.
So even when you started with Sasa, you're quite a seasoned competitor. So you.
Does that mean old?
No,
Seasoned-
it means you've seen a fair few shows.
Yes, it does.
It means you've seen a fair few shows. But from like my point of view, you've probably made some of the best progress you ever have in the past sort of year. Can you attribute that to anything? Did anything change that you maybe made that difference, or?
Yeah, the way I trained, I dropped the whole sort of high frequency, lowish volume, chasing strength, chasing weight, and I've just adopted more volume. I don't care what weight's on the bar anymore. I don't.
Is that still training to failure?
Yeah, I still train to. I'll do 3 work sets on every exercise. The first 2 are to failure, and then the third set is beyond failure.
Right.
And obviously it varies. Like a back session is 6 exercises, 3 work sets. But obviously I'll do feeder sets in there as well. So it'll be sort of 25 sets for back or something like that. And it's still heavy training. Obviously, I work between sort of 12 reps and 6 reps.
Right.
Do you have you accidentally got stronger anyway?
I think if I obviously went back to training how I did with the minimal sort of warm up sets and reps, and preserved strength all the way to the end, then yeah, I think my numbers would be higher. But because now I only take sort of 60 seconds rest between sets or 90 seconds rest between sets, the weight on the bar is nowhere near what it used to be, just because I'm fucked the whole session. And like before I even do my first work set, I've probably done sort of 5 or 6 warm-ups of like 10 to 12 reps, whereas across a full session I might not have even done that many reps.
Dan's mind is like this right now.
Well, I haven't had my mind blown because we have we went to go and visit Matt, me and Alice and Lee not so long ago. So we have had this chat. So I'm not surprised because I've heard it.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
Matt was deep in prep and just kind of sat on kit near us and shouted at us.
Yeah, so that is the biggest change I made, obviously, the training. And my body is obviously responding, and I'm not broken. Like 2 years ago, like everything just fucking hurt when I trained. Everything, like I was terrified of training. Going down to do the first rep of a hack squat, just thinking like, I don't my fucking knees gonna ping off. Like it's no good. And I think my body's definitely responded to more workload across the session. And I've just gone to, I do a 6-day split, 1 rest day, and I feel great all the time.
So basically, complete opposite of what Dan says.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh well.
Well, like I've always said that liking what you're doing is the driving force. You know, like yeah, I think that you need to find one methodology. Because I'm not saying these other methodologies don't work. I'm kind of, when I'm talking about it, I'm pointing the finger at people who are trying to mix and blend and like pick like the bits. And I find that when people do that, they subconsciously pick the easiest parts of all of them. And when you start doing like low volume and lower intensity and stuff, you'll actually get nowhere. So if you are going to pick the higher volume stuff, you need to execute it correctly. And if you are going to do hit training, then you really do need to take the whole concept as a whole. You can't just pick bits here and there. Say you do hit, do one set that's shit, and then wonder why you don't grow.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's always down to the execution. There's enough physiques out there that have proven that many training methods work. So you can't turn around and say that doesn't work or this doesn't work, because there's proof. But I just think moving away, obviously, from the way that I did train, like in terms of the intensity of my sets, my actual work sets are still exactly where they were. So whether I did really low volume, and I would still call it high intensity. Like there is nothing left. That every set gets taken to the point where I can't move.
Yeah.
So obviously there's just a bit more work.
I mean, I've said this on the podcast before, that is still like hit training is still the basis of growth. Like however you apply it or whatever, you have to go to failure beyond failure. And actually when you skim everything down, there is still that is, you have to create a stimulus that's hard enough to create a physical reaction. It's a survival mechanism. Oh, if I'm going to go and do this, you know, I better change so that I can do it. If you go in and do 8 reps of the same shit, your body goes, well, I can already do this. I'm not going to fucking move.
Yeah, the only difference is that the workload leading up to my set just means that there's less weight on the bar when I come to do that final set. That is the only difference. Whereas your training style, you've preserved energy so that you might squat 4 plates aside. My quads are already fucked when I get there. I might only squat 2 plates aside. But in terms of the intensity of that set and taking it to failure, like the intensity is matched. Like weight on the bar does not define intensity. It's obviously how far you can take that set.
I completely agree with that. I mean, that like with the training that I do, if anyone's ever watched the Leroy stuff and all that, if you are training legs, there's always the extension set first that still does kind of have the methodology of bringing the overall weight down. Because although you want to be strong, if I was to like literally just go straight into a compound stuff and that, I'm in danger zone nowadays, you know, and I'm no spring chicken. So there are mixed things and stuff. The concepts aren't that far from each other. There's just programs slightly different.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah. I don't know, like you drop the logbook and you go on about dropping the logbook and I'm down with dropping the logbook. Like maybe it's just me mentally, but when I have a logbook, I obsess about it and I do stupid shit. Like that's I can't help myself. If I have a number and I've got to beat it, I'll fucking beat it. But I might rip a fucking quad off in the process.
So and I think there's too many factors within a training session that can be manipulated very easily in order to beat that logbook.
Yeah, that is exactly it. Nail on the head. Yeah.
But I think if, like, I've seen people put their sets on Instagram and they say, "Oh, I did this, this, and this. I'm gonna do a few less warm-ups next time, and I'll get 10 reps." So you're gonna do less work earlier to then just do more work later. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And people just manipulate, or they'll just tell, "Oh, this is going to be a big set. I'll just have an extra minute's rest." Well, it's I don't think that's progressive. Like progressive overload underpins everything. Like if you had to take an extra 4 minutes rest to beat a number, in terms of work done in a space of time, you probably actually regress. It probably isn't progressive overload just because the number went full.
Yeah, I completely agree. The misconception, like if you have to progress in exactly the same circumstances, otherwise it's not progression. Like you said, if there's more variables and you're manipulating all those, that's not progression. That's just ego. Yeah, I agree. Which I don't usually do.
You're gonna try it, Dan?
No. I fucking love hit shit. I love Dorian. I love Amph and Leroy and Beards and shouting at each other and sounding northern. I don't know. It's just what makes me tick. It's what I've always enjoyed doing. It's what inspired me to train like that. That's my thing that I enjoy. And if I'm not, me and Amph have added more volume recently. That has happened. Not a lot. It's not Mike Metzer's train a body part once a month. That sort of thing. There is higher frequency. It's not as extreme. And as I've kind of got a little bit older, I can't recover as well. So that fits me. But yeah, you have to fit it to yourself, but that's just the thing that makes my piss boil. I love it.
That's the thing, like people adopt the Dorian training style, but all they actually do is just take his split. Like Dorian trained like a body part every 10 days. But these guys who go, well, I'm going to train like Dorian, but they'll train 4 on and then have a day off, then 4 on again. Whereas he himself said that he actually thinks the biggest part of his training was that recovery time. Like he wouldn't always, like every 8 days, like he trained like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, then it's Wednesday or Tuesday again until he's training what he did like the previous Monday.
Yeah.
And again, like his low volume also comes down to what you define a set as.
Exactly, yeah.
Like he says, everyone's like seen his published journal. They go, well, Dorian used to do like 4 sets. Well, yeah, but he did 3 warm-ups. So now that 1 set is 4 sets. So if you count warm-ups as a set, like that cumulative fatigue is still going to count towards something.
Absolutely.
So do you count it? Do you not? It comes down to what you call a set, because it could be 4 sets or it could be 12 sets in a session, and that's a big difference.
I always thought, because obviously I do warm-up sets and stuff, and some of the warm-up sets are to failure, and this is just semantics. It's the way that you talk about it. Yeah. But the only one I'm interested in is my last one. So that's where my mentality is. But like I've said this before, it sounds arrogant, but in my warm-ups, that's what 90% of the fuckers are doing. And then I do my set. That's just the way I think about it. But yeah, if you're doing, the concept isn't that far flawed. If you look at Blood and Guts, like Dorian's warm-up sets, like wow, like and then but then mentally, and I believe even just thinking about it like that gives me the kind of like mental edge of like even just calling it 1 set, even if it's not, like makes me kind of switch it on. But yeah, in reality, there's 4 sets.
Dorian's Blood and Guts is on YouTube. It popped up yesterday, so I watched it.
Well, you've never watched it?
Well, I watched it before, but it came up on YouTube yesterday, and I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it again.
Yeah, no, I watch it at least once a week. Not gonna lie.
When you're wanking, or?
Well, no, it doesn't matter really. I just, the alarm goes off, and I'm like, well, better watch Blood and Guts. I even have it like as my screensaver, his hack squat, because someone once talked about you can't really see it, but talked about my depth once, and so now every time I look at my phone, I look at Dorian's hack squat and go, yeah.
And that's another thing about Blood and Guts. When he's on, obviously like I've trained with Ant, and he moves fast, and he always said that Dorian moves faster. If you look at what he's leg pressing, you'll see 12-stone kids on Instagram leg pressing more. Like you have to make some link about. I don't know how people can post videos and then go and watch Blood and Guts and say, why am I leg pressing more than Dorian Yates? Like,
Well, some people do that so they can go, yeah, see, train as hard as Dorian Yates. What the fuck are the dogs doing? What the fuck is this? Some weird gay dog orgy. Shut up. Discipline them, Alice, or I'll discipline you.
No, you will.
Sorry.
Right, so I want to do a feature, which it came up as a suggestion on YouTube, where Dan does a voiceover of Jack's videos. So what I'll do is I'll bring up Jack's Instagram. And
Which
Dan,
video is it?
well, you can choose.
So Matt, to fill you in, I get bullied on the regular.
It doesn't get bullied.
You don't get bullied.
So choose a video, and I'm
Well, no, I think you should choose one because I can only watch Jack in very small doses.
Oh, I'm sure that 7.5 minute one would go down well, Johnny.
Oh, he's giving me the middle finger.
What about this shaky leg one?
That's not the bad one, I don't think. Is it?
It's not, is it?
I don't know. Oh, it might be. It's 2.5 minutes for one set.
Oh, God. Well, first, obviously, Jack needs to tell everyone that he's natty. And in his headphones, the whole time is actually just Mike O'Hearn reciting his book about how natty he is. And Panda as well is in there as well, talking about natty. Tren is Satan. Right about this time, that finishes, and then a cookbook comes up on how the best way to cook lentils. And that's what gets Jack really in the zone. You notice Jack doesn't wear shoes because he doesn't believe in shoes because that counts as assisted. And if you're going to be truly natty, you can't wear shoes. Oh, there's a hit. There we are. There's the hokey cokey. Jack loves a hokey cokey. But I still can't get over his oats video. I still can't. What the fuck is he doing the hokey cokey? And I still can't get over the oats video. It's like genuine. Here it goes. Here it goes. Here comes Muhammad Ali to take over his soul. Shaking Stevens coming in. Come on.
Hey, this has been quite a good one for me.
Yeah, for you. Oh, no, wait. He did 3 quick reps there on leg press halfway through.
Serious question though, Dan. Would you call this one set or like 10 sets of one?
Well, I mean, assuming he's there, he's 40. He's there. Oh my God, that is amazing. We should literally put the Cheeky Girls music on top of this. This isn't as good as the video where he tells people how to put water on cereal.
Yeah.
That really, like, that genuinely annoyed me on a level that I can't explain. Why is he still here? Matt, is this the kind of training that you do? What do you think about his rests in between his reps, let alone...
Yeah, I think this set ended about 30 seconds in.
Is it just that one? Is it just that one leg that's lame, Jack?
Yeah, the right one, yeah.
And what's happening when you're doing the hokey cokey?
Popping the tendon back in place.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, lovely.
Oh look, you actually locked that one out though. So you did. So you did 1 rep. So that's Jack's 1 rep max. But he only managed at the end, after his narration of Mike O'Hearn's "I'm Natty" book, finished with a crescendo.
Did I get all the way through it in that 2.5 minutes?
Matt, have you seen Dan's tutorial on how to do a bottle of water?
No.
You really need to see it. It's kind of gone a little bit crazy on our page. It's had like 2,500 views. It's just Dan showing you how to make a bottle of water, taking the piss out of Jack.
I'm still annoyed that Jack has more views on him actually telling people in real life how to make cream rice. Like, I don't understand. It's like if you've ever watched like This Morning and they tell you like how to make like beans on toast. There's the beans and then the toast and then there's loads of people go, oh, I got it wrong. I put the beans on plate first. I put the toast on top. I'm fucking mental. What a game changer.
It's the same with cream of rice, mate. Plenty of people have fucked that up. So
you weigh your water. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Doesn't make you any less massive. However,
cream of rice should be in the fucking bin anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Fuck cream of rice.
Awful. It tastes like sand.
It goes down like sand.
Matt, it does if you don't follow my recipe, yeah.
Selling point.
Your recipe is still cream of rice and water. Mate, just fucking put the cream of rice with your tuna, blend it, boss tings. That's my advice to the public.
Dan's tips. Right, so the next bit, we were going to do a little preview of the British, which is now being brought forward to Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesday. Fair play to them if they pull that off. That'll be outstanding for them to do.
They're going to do it in Quick Save car park, I heard. And you could. Do you remember there was one thing where they were thinking of doing shows like via Zoom?
Oh.
Do you remember they were talking about the possibility? I think someone did actually do that part of, I don't know, UK Beef. There's that nutter who like is in UK Beef called like Louise Fit Coach or whatever. She takes pictures of her poo on her stories and that. She's shout at traffic mental, which is fine. She's hot. That's great. But like she like won a show that was like on the internet or something. Everyone, at least that's
was it one of the ones when you had to like vote? People could vote for you on the page if you should win.
Oh, maybe
there were those things going around where there were like you would.
What was that?
A cough.
He's like the fucking Grinch.
You like entered with like one picture of yourself, and it was like your best picture, your best stage picture, and then people voted for you if you should win or not. That was going around.
Who's that young Russian guy who went pro last weekend? What was his name?
Vito.
Did you see the pictures? For some reason, they had them all up there with no tan on.
Is it the Vito?
I'll see if I can find it.
He's not pro yet, is he?
The bloke with massive quads.
He went pro that weekend.
No, I thought he won the Russian Nationals.
Nationals.
I don't think there's a pro. He's an elite pro.
You don't get a pro card for winning the whole of Russia with a population of like a squillion. I think that's a bit harsh.
Check this out, right? Check this. I don't know what went on here, but they don't have tan on.
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
Mate, I'd be a fucking human reflector.
Is Dan even there?
He'd just be the red one.
I mean, they're all fucking massive, these cunts.
But then at the same show,
if you go up, that was last night.
So that was the next. You know what I mean? It's just the same show, but I don't know why there's one without tan.
What prejudging is tanless? I like it.
Really feel naked.
I would definitely be the least tanned if that's like that helps.
Maybe they veto you, and if you're a shit standard, they fuck you off like they should do in this country.
They wouldn't have many left then, though.
You should have to go out and qualify to actually do the show, and if you're fat, they get rid of you.
Yeah, mate, that is not a bad shout, to be fair.
Before you even get into the call-outs, they're like, no.
Well, I'm sorry, if they can pull you out of a lineup and move you into a different category if they don't think you fit, they should be able to move you out the back exit and sack you off, shouldn't they, really?
How old is this guy again? This guy's
23,
23,
23. Oh, fuck off.
That's phenomenal amount of gain, that is.
His legs are absurd.
If you scroll down a little bit, have a look at the picture from about a year ago. And
Oh, is he going to weigh 5 stone?
honestly, he just looks like a little child.
Mate, he looks like a little child facially anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah, but like I don't know how he's done it in a year.
Yeah,
Like,
years.
it's fucking stupid.
The
Mate.
Russians' finest.
Can you remember like Alexei Lezhikov? He was fucking
Yeah.
huge at 16, 17, and they must be doing something with them, or and then they just peter out. They don't amass to anything.
Fuck knows. I can't see it, but yeah, it's just insane.
It might actually be like a year ago. Someone just sent me it, and I
Oh,
thought,
Matt, you've had a hell of a scroll down here, haven't you?
Oh,
someone sent me it.
It's like the proportions on him are mental, though, aren't they?
Crazy. 23 as well.
well, it's like,
quads
like
on him.
Stuart Core looked probably his best when he was like 19, didn't he?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
That's 3 years.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Like his neck disappeared.
Yeah. Fuck.
That's
Fuck
ridiculous. Like,
Good veto.
Yeah.
must
So,
be the tanks.
Well, that's ruined my day.
anyway, back to the proposal for the British preview as such. So we know we've got the usual sort of UK guys, and we all know that James is favourite to take the win. Well, I assume everybody agrees that.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So I guess I'll share the Two Bros page. I think they've got a couple of like confirmed athletes on there.
With this one, this is only top qualify for next year, isn't it? It is only first place.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So if I go down through the list, so we've got Florian Poison, or whatever his name is.
Florian Poison.
Poison. I don't know. How would you say that?
Poisson.
Croissant.
Florian Poisson.
Florian Croissant.
Yeah, it's a soft P. It's pronounced qua.
So this guy, obviously, everyone's interested to see. This guy beat Dan last year, didn't he?
Who?
Did Florian beat you?
Croissant.
No, I don't think we're anywhere near each other.
Okay. But yeah, he went pro and obviously then placed at the pro show, didn't he?
Yes.
He did, yeah. So obviously everyone's intrigued to see him. Then we've got seasoned pro Essa. I'm not even going to try and say his second name.
Bad.
Fuck's
That's
sake.
a bad.
I'd be a shit commentator.
Yeah.
Like, and here comes Florian Croissant and Essa are bad.
Similar accent, mate.
What do we think? Like, Florian's fucking nuts.
You can see
I
that.
think James
he's-
beats him.
Go on, Matt.
Yeah, I think James beats him. I don't think even though he's changed dramatically in the last 2 weeks. I think he will look fat next to James.
Yeah, James's condition, along with like James has got a different look to him. He's very grainy and hard. Like he's got the sort of seasoned, like years and years of training under him. Like, don't get me wrong, Florian is a very big individual, especially more. You can see it's like young muscle with him. It's not as hard. It's not as grainy. You probably look quite soft.
It's a completely different physique, isn't it? It's the full bulbous kind of look, and James does have that, but through density as well. You know, we saw it at the last show when he like turns to the side and stuff. Just the thickness, he like trashes people.
Are we saying top 5 for Florian?
Well,
Yeah.
I would have thought so, unless he. I mean, obviously we don't know. It's been a long time since he's been on stage. But I think he's incredibly muscular.
Could be a good matchup with him and Mark Hector.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go against each other.
I mean, but again, completely opposite physique. I mean, if Hector needed, I'm not one to say this, but Hector needs a bit more legs. But his taper from waist to like shoulders is just, his clavicles are so wide, it's fucking insane. And he weathered his pro debut actually a lot better than I thought he would. I was very, very impressed with how he looked alongside people, even with, apparent, slight weaknesses. It really didn't, it wasn't glaring. like at you. You were drawn to his strengths. Yeah, I was really impressed with Hector.
That's me. He's one of them that his shape literally overshadows any weakness he's got.
Yeah.
You almost just look at his silhouette as opposed to his like individual body parts.
Yeah, you're right.
And he's very, very sort of flex wheeler like. And if he can bring his hamstring up and obviously like all of his legs, I mean, I think he'll probably push a top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the next one, obviously, we'll run through down the page. So we've got Essa Obide, whatever his name is. What are we saying? Like, he's normally on the fringes, isn't he?
Yeah, I think I saw his latest upload. He looks a bit like old in it. It's almost like he's on the way down. So he's hasn't got quite the pop. If you go on the picture and you go on his profile.
No, we haven't got time to be looking.
That's too late.
Yeah.
Cheers, John. But I don't think he's going to be a challenge in a top 3 personally. With the sort of the younger guys on here with the fullness and sort of the pop that a lot of them have, I don't, unless a lot of them come in quite soft because he's normally peeled, but that'll be the only chance that he'd have of like creeping into a top 3 really.
Then we got Jamie Johal, obviously our podcast friend. What's your thoughts, gents? What do you reckon?
I mean, he's definitely going to bring more conditioning. Like he's planning some pretty mental carb up scenarios. I mean, on the carb up, it doesn't look like anything can actually touch him. I'm not entirely sure. He doesn't look flat. So, I mean, but, I don't know. Jamie's one of those guys where in real life, it's just a totally different fucking story.
Well, on the live stream, we were all talking about how we just couldn't take our eyes off him. And
yeah, when he first walks out, you're like, what the fuck is this human? Why does he exist? How has he lived this long? Like, you know what I mean? Like it is. You do just look at him. The only problem that Jamie has is legs from side.
I think it was less of an issue on stage than we thought it was going to be, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but if you look at the compulsories, some of the first shots you see, and you see the side compulsory because he's got such a long leg.
Yeah.
Obviously everyone, most people have a weakness, and that's Jamie's, because he's just so fucking tall. Do we think
there's going to be an issue now because obviously the shows have been brought forward and it was only announced last night? I
think it'll probably make them fucking better. They won't do anything stupid.
That is true.
They'll just come in and just go, yeah, cool, here I am. And I can't see it doing any real damage. I mean, I think it'll create some whinging about people, I couldn't fill up or whatever, but I think it'd probably be I don't think it will make a difference. The only thing that could make a difference with that is the stress of having it brought forward. The stress can kill your fucking physique in a day. I don't know whether you've all experienced that, but you start overthinking stuff too much, you can just fuck yourself doing that. The last week should be, putting your feet up and basically not doing anything. That's my opinion. You should be ready 2 weeks out anyway. Yeah. But these guys have been ready already. They're already. They're just bridging.
Ready already.
They're ready already.
They're ready already.
Matt, what do you think? Because you're quiet.
Well, I think moving a show forward 3 days as a professional bodybuilder shouldn't mean fuck up. They're ready to go. Obviously, they've done a show, and it'll just be a case of putting some food in. I think Samson's very good. Like I say with Jamie, I think with Jamie's legs are that long, and the insertions of his quad sort of don't fully go up to his hip, so it gives his quads from the front like a little bit of a weird shape. But like you say, when he's on stage, he's that tall, and the presence of him. You standing next to someone who's 5'10", it takes a very, very good bodybuilding judge to be able to compare as bodybuilders
Yeah.
as opposed to just massive fucking people.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as
Yeah.
so when someone's head is sort of where your chest is,
Yeah.
it's very, very different. Like, you look at a few pictures where Josh Marley stands next to somebody, like even someone who's so heavily muscled.
Yeah. Well, I did that.
But you're what, 6'2"?
Yeah, maybe a touch.
So I mean, you take a 5'9" bodybuilder,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter how heavily muscled they are, they're still going to look like a child.
Mm.
It's a bit like the pictures where you see like Jay Cutler stood with Brian Shaw. Like, it just looks fucking silly.
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia looks like a baby.
Yeah.
So I think that's the advantage. Obviously, Jamie has there, but
Well,
then
Jamie's quads, I still think they are fucking massive. They are massive.
yeah, in terms of a measurement, they're massive.
Yeah.
So which helps when you stood next to someone. But I think sometimes with shape, and it can, like you say, when he turns to the side and hits like a side chest, I think it just detracts away a little bit. But they're still fucking huge.
Yeah. I mean, we're not being dicks here. We're not trying to be dicks.
We're being picky. This is professional. Like tiny little details of the difference between first, second, third, or whatever.
Yeah. So I think if it's something to pick up against Jamie, he's got some killer fucking shots. I mean, that's not a great photo of his
Front lat,
but his front lat's outrageous.
Yeah.
And his most muscular from the front. His arms are much, much fuller this time round, and delts. He looks like bulbous for someone. The amount of time it takes to fill a frame, even at my height, to actually look like you've got some muscle is fuck. So to do it on a frame even taller, he looks a lot fuller than I've ever seen him. I was genuinely fucking impressed. It's so hard to look bulbous and thick when you're tall. I should know, and I'm nowhere near as tall as the cunt. I thought Samson. I mean, I really like Samson's shape, but he just fought everyone for fifth at the last show. Yeah. It was like the world versus Samson in the second call out, wasn't it?
It's the old condition thing with Samson, isn't it? Everyone talks about it, and the truth is had he been a little bit sharper at the Europa, I think he would have probably been fighting potentially for fourth against Regan. But ultimately, like, Samson's genetics are carrying him this far, and as soon as he comes in condition, it's going to be lights out for a lot of people.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. He's got a great shape.
Then we've got obviously our friend Cuba. His thoughts?
Cuba's condition has come a very, very long way.
Yeah, he seems like he's come down loads since. Yeah.
I mean, he certainly looks a lot different to this picture right here. He's filled out his arms and his shoulders much, much more. He looks thick in there. The legs are good. I mean, Cuba's young. I've spoken to him about it. He knows what to do. He's made the improvements in his back. He needs time. He's not going to stop knocking at that door. He's probably not going to hit a top three. Like, in reality, we saw at the Europeans, he still needs more.
I think the good thing with Cuba is he knows that as well. He's not like unrealistic. He knows that he's not like up there yet, but he knows that the amount that he's added already just shows that what he is like capable of, like, moving forward. So
I mean, it's just a matter of time, I think, for him. And
I think another thing is people to remember is Cuba's going to be around a long time after a couple of these names have moved on.
Oh yeah,
You've got like James Hollingshead and Samson and Jamie and Mark Hector. I think they're all sort of early to mid 30s. You look at Cuba, he's going to be around for a good probably 5-10 years after those guys.
Yeah.
So
I like the way that Mark Hector's like airbrushed.
I found this, right. Do you know when I did the
3D model?
When I did the podcast, right, I tried finding photos or videos of him, and there was absolutely none. There was none. So I ended up using one that came from like one of them muscle worshipping videos on YouTube. There was like a group of guys who like had obviously put a load of his photos together and wanked over it or something. And so that's the only thing I could use. If we look back on the Mark Hector one, the introduction came from one of them. But yeah, anyway, moving on.
Forget about that one.
So
I think that's mostly it. Really, there's not a massive list.
no, well, obviously we got James.
There's all the Brits, and then Issa and Florian. I think they're the only ones, aren't they?
Who are we missing from the Brits? That was my message just down there.
So people's predictions. We'll go with Matt first, as he's the guest.
But who? Surely there's more. Surely there's a few more. We've missed someone.
No, I think there's only about eight. But then I would still.
There's classic as well, isn't there?
What's that?
Oh yeah, Geraint, stay out of this.
What's that?
There is classic.
I mean, we could talk about classic, but really, the only classic I know is Ryan because he was on last week.
You got obviously Bob.
Yeah, Bob and Steve and Dave.
Darren Farrell. I think Darren Farrell is competing that one.
Colin Farrell.
Can we not? Can we just do the predictions for the Open, the important?
All right, then go on. I'll just sit this one out.
So we said. I mean, I probably do agree. Holland said he's going to win it, so we're playing for second.
Yep.
Yeah, I think James is first. Second, obviously, if he comes in, and I think he'll have to speed it up, but he's only got a couple of days now. I think probably Florian, and then between Mark and Samson for third.
I agree with that.
Depending on which way they want to go, whether it's a pretty physique or, I mean, Samson's not ugly. He's got amazing shape. So I think that third or fourth can go either way. If Essa gets over and does it, like you say, he's got a weird physique. Like his stomach always looks absolute paper thin, but it's just something a bit weird about his, like when he gets shredded. Like,
has he got some scarring or something? Or
he's got like weird like bumps and lumps all over him. Like,
or is it stretch marks?
Looks like gristle.
Has he had an accident or something? Like, or is it stretch marks? They used to be really fat. Because there is like a weird thing that kind of distorts his midsection. It's quite strange.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think, and he's always hit and miss. Like sometimes he comes in and he's absolutely peeled, and sometimes he's not. So we'll just leave that. So I think so I'll go Mark for third.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put on a bang on day, I'd pick Samson over Mark, just because he's more complete. But yeah, he won't be able to give up an iota, or Mark will have him. You know, if he doesn't come into, I mean, Samson's the only guy who can prep for a show using bands in a hotel room. Like,
you see his latest post.
Yeah, he was like, "Fuck it, I train with bands, get massive." Yeah, Samson, that's really great. You are the only person in the world that, like, well, not just you and a few other people, like the most genetically gifted people. If I spent 2 weeks on the bands before a show, I'd be an absolute turnip.
You'd be the band. You'd look like the band.
Be a bag of tendons. Yeah. So.
But does anyone disagree with Matt's prediction?
I think it'll come if Florian's not like peeled. I think potentially he could get knocked off that second spot. Like he's got the potential.
Peeled, he'll drop 2 spots.
Yeah.
If he doesn't come in nailed, he'll drop 2 spots. He won't just
Samson
drop
and Mark will take him.
He won't just drop 1. I reckon he'll drop 2 places. If he comes in a bit too pushed full, like a bit of a glaze on him, he'll drop 2. He'll drop dramatically. I don't think it'll be. He has to be on. In my opinion, I'd love to watch Jamie just come and outmass everyone, because I love freaks. But if we break down the poses, like, I think he's going to get smashed from the side poses.
I think he'd be the Essa though. I think he'll be.
Yeah. no, I just think for like a top 3 positioning, which is probably what he's hoping for. You know, I would love to see that. But yeah, like you said, if it takes a very experienced judge to be able to go and look at something that's that impressive and actually break it down into what that means as a judgeable like physique, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be like, he's massive, win. So.
Is there an amateur show there as well?
No.
No.
There's not. It's just a pro.
Oh, yeah, no, I think they're doing the regional there, are they?
I'm sure they are.
I think
they
they
Mecca Classic or something.
Yeah, I think they have a regional qualifier that was supposed to be on the Friday, and I think they've moved that. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what it is.
Didn't
What about
fancy-
212s? Who's turning up for 212s?
Your buddy Paul.
Oh.
Yeah, Paul. James Llewellyn, who hates us by proxy for being friends with Josh. And then is Dorego doing this?
I think he is.
He's meant to be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
the
he not also the sponsor?
Yeah, that one.
He's
Yeah.
not also the fucking sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Rego Raw show.
It's won my own show. Thanks.
How does that work then? Do you reckon, like, if he wins the show but he sponsors the prize money, do you have to write a check for himself?
Well, he definitely should. Oh, that's what I want.
And he gets to shake his own hand on stage as well.
Well, I heard that there wasn't any prize money anyway.
Oh.
Why? Because he didn't fancy giving any.
Well, I just hear that there just isn't any. There's just,
Yeah.
you know, you just one Olympia.
That makes it probably more likelihood that he's going to win then, because nobody's going to travel to the UK for no prize money, are they?
Well, think tank.
There's not only going to be 3 of them competing there, is there? Surely.
No, there must be some more. Well, I didn't see any.
Is it Italian or Spanish? No, Spanish.
We haven't really done our homework on this, have we? We're like
Well,
talking about it as if we.
Is it Angelo or?
The one who won Spain.
I mean, I can't see him travelling. He's already qualified.
Yeah, but this is a
Actually,
qualifier for next year.
No,
Isn't
that
it?
was Spain. Yeah, so he might come and try and get an early one.
I'm sure I heard he's competing. I'm sure I did.
Well, it would be a clever thing to do, wouldn't it? It'd be a clever thing to do.
And even if he doesn't, the guy who took second should do it. I can't remember his name. He was absolutely peeled. They're both coached by the same guy, I think. Oh no.
No, the second place is Patrick's guy.
Patrick's client, isn't he?
Yeah, so I think Patrick's another one of the fucking sponsors. I think all his clients are in it.
I didn't.
We're saying that everyone's coached by Patrick now.
Who are these guys? I don't know who these guys are.
He's not on the. I'm sure he's not on the list of
He's on
competing
there.
there though.
God knows. I don't think we know enough about the 212 to be commenting on it anyway.
No, probably not.
So classic.
No, I'd rather talk about.
So moving on. Go on then. Who's going to win? Who's going to win Classic then?
I think because Mike
Summerfield.
Yeah, I think he's going to take that end of. There's going to be I think it'll be like a bit of a. I don't know what because Darren Farrell is doing that as well. But I don't know.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, Riverdale. let's move on, please. Jesus.
You know the rundown anyway.
All right, so Colin Farrell's going to win.
No, he's not going to win.
Okay, sweet.
Anyway.
Before we move on, I'm just going to go for a piss.
All right, pal.
Sorry.
Let's wait for him to go. God, that Matt Tofton's a cunt.
What you said about him's not true, Dan.
Yeah, I know. He does actually have a massive penis.
You should fucking know.
Yeah, I know. I vet them all.
The bugger man.
So, yeah, the bugger man. Fucking hell, that caused some upset. We did actually get a bit of feedback on the YouTube video. Basically, we talked about too much shit. Basically,
yeah, they wanted like 80% shit rather than 100%.
Yeah. No, I completely get where they're coming from. Really,
I'm sorry, but you're going to get 100% shit.
Well, no, this time we've covered some real stuff. We heard about some trainings, and then we talked about some bodybuildings.
Oh, is that where you lift things up, drop things down?
Yeah.
Right, we covered that. Okay, cool.
No, you don't drop them. You put them down. You're wasting half the rep.
Yeah. Don't ruin the negative.
Oh, fuck, that's where we going wrong.
Yeah. See, you would be stuck in classic if you did the negative.
That's the difference between classic and open.
Yeah. That's negative.
Oh, we got quads, right?
Ooh.
So is no one going to talk about how we just got locked down, our whole lives are ruined? I mean, the Welsh are used to it.
I was
So
gonna say,
No, we talked about it before you came on because you were like,
And not just that, Jack. Dan didn't give a fuck before. He was laughing at us when we were in lockdown, and he
we
was.
remember.
So now
we
we're
remember.
sat here like, ha.
yeah, but we
No,
invited
Johnny,
you
don't
in.
do it because we'll get pinged into it now as well.
Should the three of us just clap him? Should we just clap him? And
I'm not going to say too much because I'm actually training at Trojan tomorrow. So
We invited you in. We were like, it's okay. Come.
have you heard about what Tom Blackman did just to wind people up? He did a discounted membership for Welsh people.
The discount
Yeah,
membership for Welsh people.
2-week membership for Welsh people. Like, so basically encouraging people to travel during a lockdown.
Yeah, I did hear about that. And then he got a phone call from the cop shop, didn't he?
Did they call him?
Gave him a cop shop photo. And he had to do a follow-up video saying, if you're Welsh, you're banned. I mean, I might have summarised the situation a bit, but that was the gist.
Yeah, good thing I'm not going there tomorrow then. But yeah, so you guys are obviously going to be in a month lockdown, and apparently we're not going to follow suit. So you may have to take a trip this way now, Dan.
I'm there. Mate, I tell you what, it's not going to be a month, is it? That's bullshit. This is just literally just a little bit of spit on the anus before they just penetrate us for Christmas. I can just feel it. It's not going to.
Yeah, they used the 8-inch last time. Now they're going to use the 12-inch.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just a little bit. Yeah, they're just like, it's fine. It's only a month. It's only
a finger. It's only a finger.
Right in the dung funnel. They're gonna have that fucking done. Mate, I like. I think they said, like Christmas isn't going to be the same. I mean, I don't really give a shit about Christmas anyway. But I want it to be the same. I want to be depressed and hateful. I don't want anything different. I like things to stay the same.
Doesn't like change.
Yeah, I don't like change. It's part of like me being on the spectrum, basically. So I like what I like, and I don't like things, and that's what I like.
Well,
yeah. I think that they're saying a month because people are getting really fucked off now, aren't they? So I think if they just went, yeah, we're going to do a 4-month, then everyone just like fucking go. Mate, went to Asda, there's no toilet roll. What the fuck? Is it the shops are still going to sell toilet roll? Why is this the first thing that people, like, even if there was a zombie apocalypse coming, like, just shit in your hand, mate. Like,
yeah, you say this, man. There was a photo that went viral on Facebook, right, about a lady who had, I think she had 4 big multi-packs of toilet roll in her cart, right? People were taking photos of booze in there and all sorts. Turns out she had a deal on like Voucher or something, 4 for a tenner. And every cunt was going in on this old lady outside fucking Tesco's or whatever. And the poor fucker just had a bargain, like.
I mean, that's Voucher. That's on them, isn't it? Really, that was bad. That was bad timing.
Yeah.
I don't know what. If shit gets really bad, like, having a clean anus is the least of the problems. If this really is a deadly virus that's going to wipe us all out, I'll have a bit of a dirty bumhole. Fuck it.
You haven't installed the BD yet, then?
Well, when they're digging mass graves outside to shovel all of our shriveled COVID corpses into, like we're supposed to believe, they're not checking bumholes.
Well, because I'm such a skeptic. So obviously I had the ambulance around earlier today because I had an allergic reaction to some shit. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I heard you had a rash.
Yeah, so obviously they're rushed off their feet to come and save you from an allergic reaction.
The irony is they weren't rushed off their feet. They were actually said to me that they were in their station around the corner. So
That was my sarcasm, Johnny.
oh right, sorry, bud.
He's a mystic guy, this Jack. Mystic.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell. Anyway, they were like, "Oh, we advise you go into hospital to have blood work done and stuff." I was like, "Given the climate, I think I'll give it a miss." They were like, "Oh, we can only advise you. We can't force you to." Like the skeptic in me was thinking, if I go into hospital, I'm gonna have to do a 2-week probably isolation when I come out as well. Thankfully, the swelling I had from the allergic reaction was only external. So like my lips swell up, my face swell up, but my like breathing was fine and my tongue was fine. So I was all right with that. Like if obviously if I was struggling to breathe, I'd have gone in. Like,
How was the penis?
not swollen, unfortunately.
No.
Right.
You could have done with that.
You laugh about that, right? Some people go and get purposely stung by a bee on the penis because it enlarges it, and it's one of the only areas that it doesn't go back down.
How the fuck do you know that?
I know he's done it himself.
No,
How many stings you've had, Jack?
no, Guy
You've been shagging beehives.
Guy Sistanino got stung on the dick, and then he went and researched it and found that it's actually true. Yeah.
What,
That's
like,
how I found out.
are there clinics for this?
Yeah.
Imagine like a little
People-
box filled with bees and you just shove your penis in and then you like run home to the missus. You get out your big fucking pussing fucking veiny death stick.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I don't
Johnny's
I mean-
called the ice cream man round.
I mean, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
outside.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm gonna try it, but
Let me know how it goes, man.
well, someone I know said that you can get this Viagra and inject it into your penis.
Cabaject.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. It's a thing.
Tried it then, Matt, have you?
No, if you get it for pre-stage, swell body parts as well.
What's it called?
The fluff up.
You
Cabaject.
get it for what?
It does the same thing as sort of Nolotol. Do you know what Nolotol is? If you just take it like pre-stage, obviously like bang it in your arms or your shoulders, it'll like swell from the inside out. So obviously it'll increase the size of your arms, or a bit like Escalade that like Kevin Laverne was famous for using for in the night.
Yeah.
So Nolotol. But yeah.
So if you do it just it just does like the site where it is.
Yeah.
Okay, gonna
Take notes, Dan. Take notes.
need to get a lot of that. All for the legs.
Johnny sounds off, mate.
I'm gonna have fucking leg boners.
I don't know. You might have big bumps if you put it in your legs.
Have you boys tried Nolotol?
Yeah, I have.
Nitol, yeah, herbal.
When I first tore my pec, I was like advised to try and get some Nolotol because it would help, and I could never ever get my hands on it. But then after a few years, I got told that it was, pretty harsh stuff, so not to bother. But that was where I first, ironically, when I snapped my pec off the bone, I got told to go and get some Nolotol to help the swelling, would make the symmetry issue less, I guess.
What, just before stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it fucking hurts. And if you put too much in too fast, you can pass out.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah, so actually all you need is bees. Yeah, get a little hive going backstage or whatever. Like you could keep it in like one of those prep bags and that, and then just pluck them out.
You'd be fucked with all the shows we go to. You know how delayed they are. They'd be like 5 minutes to stage. You get your bees out. Next thing you know, you're still back there an hour later. Fuck.
You have to do it again.
They're still flying around as you go on stage.
Oh,
Can you hold up? My bees aren't ready. They're not working.
Yeah, my pump's gone now.
You get dud bees. Yeah, awful. So people backstage passing bees round. Oh, man.
Have some of that.
Anyway. Right, so I guess we've dried up and we're at that stage.
I learned something today.
Matt, we do the 5 tips. So each guest we have on, we ask them to give 5 tips. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding related, but obviously it can be. But any five tips you want to give to anyone who's watching?
They could be life tips. If you could make them better than Ryan's, because they were proper shit. I humoured him at the time, but they were shit. So maybe like one bodybuilding one, because Ryan was like, yeah, do ecstasy. It's like, that's not a real tip, but yeah.
So what do you want? You want one bodybuilding tip?
Yeah, just do one and then 4 about bees.
Bodybuilding tip is don't worry about strength. Don't chase it. Just let it be a byproduct of getting bigger. Right.
Controversial.
4 life tips. You're asking the wrong person for life tips.
Like stuff you wish you knew when you were younger, maybe. Like stuff you wish you knew when you were like 20.
Yeah. Matt. Well, I mean, Matt, you obviously didn't know everything when you were 20.
I don't know anything now.
Yeah. Oh, that's the problem.
All this does, though, is highlight when our guests never watch our podcast.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen an episode.
Fuck you, Matt.
They'll watch this one. Yeah, but to be fair, I tried to watch Matt's one the other day and it was really quiet and I couldn't turn it up for some reason. So I sacked that off as well.
What was that, the one with Tyler?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never watched it either, but I don't feel so bad anymore.
Well, you've never watched this podcast?
Oh, I never watched Matt's podcast. That's what I mean.
Well, I've only done one. I've missed 22 of yours.
You definitely win.
Okay, so that, support each other could be number 2.
I don't watch any podcasts. It's not just you.
Okay, that's all right then.
I feel marginally better.
I think unless you're doing cardio, like you see like a huge dip in like views when like it's
off season.
Yeah, but it's like
I don't mind. Lockdown helps. I mean, people got nothing to do, so I mean, our views will probably go back up now.
Yeah, that's true. Only fans re-engaged. Someone's going to be balling.
All the fans.
So I gave you 2. I gave you number 2, Matt. So it's only 3.
Well, 3. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Fuck. So I'm not. There aren't gay singles in my area.
Yeah, they are. They just don't want to meet up.
Oh, they don't want to.
No one wants to play with it, man.
Yeah, they are there.
That was the best part of this entire podcast.
Yeah, Matt, watch that bit back, and then you can say you've watched one. So 3. Come on, 4.
Bees don't just spread pollen.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
You're trying to fill.
Never wear a shirt with arms on it.
Yeah, that's true. No, never wear a shirt. Don't wear shirts.
Don't wear a shirt.
Just wear shorts and vests all the time.
4. So number 5.
These are absolutely shit.
Yeah, no, I mean they're not actually supposed to be good. That's the thing. It's supposed to invoke, warm, light-hearted wit from the rest of us.
Always do your research before you go on a podcast.
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, obviously they were all shit, but
That's some solid.
Ryan's ones were shit as well. What was it? Don't eat yellow snow.
Yeah.
And then loads of other bollocks about doing ecstasy when you're young or something.
I have to watch it back.
I'd have to watch it back. Yeah, definitely. I don't watch them back. Once is enough.
If you are going to do ecstasy, just take a quarter every hour, on the hour, all night, and you'll have the greatest night of your life.
There you go. So that's good because that's connected. The podcast has a theme now, an ecstasy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, gents. I feel a bit left out because I don't do ecstasy. So
Yeah.
You don't-
I've actually,
No,
never,
mate.
I've actually never tried ecstasy.
Natty, you're
Really?
getting natty, mate.
I've never been one for partying. Don't know why.
You've never looked because you're a boring cunt. No one wants to. No one would invite you out.
I'm not even going to argue with that.
Who would invite you out? Should we
Nobody.
invite Johnny? Fuck that.
I don't even invite myself out. I wouldn't invite myself out either.
Well, first
You
you need a
I'll
friend.
invite you out, Johnny.
I know, because you're as boring as me.
Exactly. Be boring cunts together, son.
We can be
Imagine
boring
you
together.
two imagine you two at the bar, like Jack just shaking his hip out, like Johnny's like, yeah, welcome to drink number 22. And then he's like, oh, is that the time? Chicken and rice. How do you make chicken and rice again, Jack? Well, I'm glad you asked.
I've made a
Glad you
tutorial.
Here's my video.
4 hours later, you've left the pub. Good night. That was it.
Sounds like a solid night, to be fair.
Dick pics. All right. On that bombshell.
On that bombshell. Yeah. Right
The
then, Matt.
bag man.
Well, thank you for taking your time to come on the podcast, brother.
Thank you for wasting your time with us.
Yeah.
Always, thank you.
Sorry your tooth fell out.
I hope your tooth goes back in.
That's how much we bored him. His fucking teeth fell out.
That is a podcast new, really. That is.
Yeah, you can keep that bit in.
Yeah. we don't edit it shit out here, Matt. The reason for
Yeah.
that is because I do the editing, and the only stuff I cut out was when Dan is like completely over the mark, which is pretty much all the time.
That's not true. None of that gets cut out.
I cut some of it out. If I didn't cut everything out, you wouldn't have a job right now.
That is true. There are some professional requirements yeah, there's been some stuff that may have kind of incriminated me a little bit or something. But I just find that sometimes people's names disappear. It's almost as if they don't exist.
Yeah. Well, the name that got erased last week, we had to erase that name, otherwise we would have.
Which one's that?
About all the fans, the one that looked like it made it look like Dan was the one.
Yeah, you edited the name out, and it just sounds like I had an OnlyFans, which is like the shittest business idea ever.
You should definitely create one now because you've got this nice advert.
I reckon I should create an OnlyFans page and then just plow loads of money into advertising it so that it pops up all the time. And then the more people that pay, the less I do it.
Seems like a foolproof.
So you like pay?
Plan, to be fair,
You pay not to see my penis.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah, see?
Don't influence him, Jack.
It's already, I'm a think tank. You've got to work with what you've got. And people generally don't want to see my fucking rape slug. So, like, there's money in that.
my fucking rape slug. What the fuck?
Oh, well, I did see a busker. This isn't about my penis. And the busker was so shit, but he knew he was shit. And then he was asking for money to stop.
I'll stop singing if you pay me.
Solid, mate. There's no amount of money that I could accumulate that would shut you up for long enough.
Sorry,
When you're there giving it like, break my heart, say you love.
Sorry,
Wait,
what?
Your local music teacher, everybody.
I know, yeah. What the fuck?
I'm
You
not a fucking singing
supporting
teacher.
the industry again, Dan. I can see
I'm
that.
not a singing teacher.
Dan just slaps a bass.
Don't worry, at this rate, he won't be any teacher.
But the thing I'm annoyed about as well is if you're gonna lock us down, at least send me home and pay me. Don't make me go to work. That's some bullshit. So that's some bullshit.
Well, you had last lockdown off.
Yeah, so I was,
But
Good,
some of us have worked through all of the lockdowns. So.
oh man, I work on a railway, wear a suit. You don't do anything. the railways are fucked anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? Oh, it's a train, it goes forward. You don't even need to steer it. I mean, how hard
if I was
be?
earning £4 an hour for your job, I'd be bitter too, Dan.
£4 an hour. To be fair, if you added up all the hours, it probably is about that, to be fair. I did over half term. I have one class that needs a bit of extra attention, so I cancelled my PT clients, and I went in to do like an extra like revision time for all of them, and they were like, "Yeah, that's really great." I said, "I'll open all the studios, and don't worry if you haven't got your passport, you can use any of the studios, any product, anything, any projects I'll help you with, just to get used to the studios so we don't fall behind." So I turned up, probably cost me about 140 quid, and no one did. None of them.
Oh well.
Yeah. So that's the state of the education system.
We pay you zero to come on this podcast, so we can't say much.
Yeah, that's true. But it's such a joy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's almost like you enjoy coming on each week, except for
Well, yeah, it's like thrush and wanking. Like it's like it's nasty, but it's itchy, it's scratchy, and then you have the wank on top. That's what the podcast is like.
Right.
And
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go now.
Sweet, Dan. Sweet.
Right.
So I'll see you next week, and we'll see whether we were right about our predictions about the men in pants.
Yes. The men in
And
pants.
I will say one thing about the 212. Paul Latham for the win.
Yeah, that's just because he trains at your gym.
No, it's
yeah.
not. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Right. Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.
Cheers, Matt.